Hey there, welcome to Angry Bird Man. I'm gonna do a fish story for the homies. This one involves faith. This one involves faith, man, and I'm gonna explain that as I go. If you guys are from California, there's a river. It's called the Stanislaus River. There's a park out there. It's called Big Trees, and Big Trees Park has like this mile hike. And if you go down the hike, you can see all the most like monstrous trees in the world. Now there's a park in a different part of California that has bigger trees, okay, but Big Trees has monsters, man. Make no mistake. I mean, you're up against 300-foot trees and shit almost, you know. They're huge. So a long ass time ago, in a former life, I had a couple different homies, man. One of them's still with me, one of them's not. All right. Let's talk about the trip to Big Trees with these two homies of mine. All right, we went there. I don't know how many damn times. I mean, one of y'all probably could chime in if you ever watch my shit and tell everybody how many times we went. But man, we went there all the damn time. We had so much fun fishing in Big Trees on the Stanislaus River. So there's different parts of that river that are easy to get to, like super easy. And that ain't us, man. We were homies, man. We were like, nah, we're adventurous. We're gonna trek all the way down this bitch, man. You know. So we start out on the far side of the river, where the trail begins, and the other side has parking and nice seats, and you know everything's kosher. You know, the other side's just a trail and rocks. And so me and these two guys, we'd get out there every fucking time we could, and we'd always get up at the crack of dawn, and we'd always get on the trail, and we'd get as far as we fucking could. And everybody that's ever fished there, everybody knows that there's trouts all over the place. There's trouts in that river. And the farther you go, the wilder they are. The closer you are, you know, to the bridge and the trail, at the starting point, they're all planted. Planted trout are fun too. Don't get me wrong. Planted trout are fun. You know, you fish to just poop, popping out, right? Wild trout are harder. They're trickier. You got to trick them to get lures sometimes. Sometimes you don't, but sometimes you do. All right. So anyway, we trek, man. We're going miles and miles and miles. We're slipping. We're getting cuts, bruises. We're the type of kids that, you know, we're talking 19, 20, 21-year-olds here now, okay? We weren't that old. We're out there trekking, and we're going down. We're slipping, sliding down rocks. There's parts where I remember me and Paul. You remember Paul? I know you remember, man. I know you'd have to remember this. We were down a little bit, and we're looking up, and our bro David's up there, and he ain't coming down. We're down there at the river, and we're fishing. And we're looking up, and he's like 10 feet above us or 12 feet above us, and he ain't getting down. He's like looking down. He's like, I ain't going down. That's too dangerous, you know. So he starts trekking around. He does some shit, and he finally gets down. And we're just like, what the hell, you know? And it was just funny because he was just stuck. And if you were there, you know why he was stuck. It looks fucked up, man. Like, you look down, you're like, dude, if I slip, So he's up there going, I'm going to slip. I know I'm going to slip. Oh, you fucking bastards. He's telling us, right? So he's going around, you know. At any rate, if you fish on a river and you're fishing for wild trout and you're not a fly fisherman, if you tried to fly fish there, your shit's going to be in a tree here, bush there. You ain't fly fishing on this river, man. Not where we went. Unless you were in the river going up and down the river fly fishing, you know, then maybe you can't do it from the shore, not the way you would be thinking anyway. So I knew a long ass time ago, I knew that lures matter. The type of lure matters, and how you use it matters, man, when you're catching trout. It just does. If you fish long enough, you learn these things. You learn techniques and things, and you learn what worked and didn't work, and trial and error, man. Over time, you gain experience, okay? So I'm in these trout holes, and I'm using Gold Castmaster, okay? Little Gold Castmaster. And I'm landing trout, you know, I'm pulling them out. Paul, he's out there using a silver, pulling them out. So me and him got Castmasters of two Totally different colors, man, and we're getting fish. As it dries up, we'll switch to roosters. If the rooster colors, if you see a chaser and you toss it out and they don't chase, you can literally, for a trout, you can switch the lure off to a different color. And the same trout, for whatever reason, will come out again and chase a different color if they're wild. If you spook them, it's over. You spook a wild pond, it's over. That's the beauty of rivers. That's the beauty of them, man. Every pond is another lake. And I know I'm not saying it's a lake like fucking, Lake Michigan. I'm saying it's another area of opportunity where the fish have been undisturbed. They're in their own habitat. They're the kings of that habitat. And if you gently get into that habitat and you get something out in front of them, you're going to be pulling them out, man. So me and Paul fished almost the same way. I change lures way more often than anyone else. Ask anybody that goes with me. I change them way more. Because I learned if you do that, you'll find a lure that works eventually, and that lure will land you more, and that's just how I do it. My tackle box got its colors and shines, man, all across it. So this guy David's with us, and when you start out fishing, David wasn't a rookie, okay? This guy ain't no rookie. This guy's been fishing for years, just as much as any of us. But anyway, when you start out, you use a swivel, all right? And that swivel, it opens up and you can slide different lures on and off, and the swivel stays on the line. That means you never have to tie a knot, okay? And anybody does their job fishing professionally never uses a swivel. There's absolute reasons for this, but won't get in all that, okay? The point is a swivel makes it easy, all right? So we're out there with David. And we're fishing and we're landing fish, and we probably had, Paul, you could chime in, man. You'd let me know if you see this. I think we had seven trout, man. And we made fun of David all fucking goddamn day. I'll tell you why. Because if you have ever seen a super duper lure, look it up. Google super duper, man. And this guy, he put the fattest swivel. They're big, they're different size swivels. And he put this monster swivel and this like average super duper on it, man. So he had this line of gold, and it's just like, it ain't working right. I could see him dragging it in. I could see him line it in. The shit it's not working right, man. The lure ain't doing what it's supposed to be doing. He's fished all day like this. And me and Paul are clowning him, man. Clowning him. And, wouldn't you fucking know? Wouldn't you fucking know? After a day of shit talking, David gets a fish. And we're like dumbfounded now. Me and Paul, we're just like, damn, he got one finally. Yay, go. We're clowning him. He's reeling it in. Why the fuck does this guy get the biggest fish of the day? Why? He ain't got no bites all day. He ain't got shit done all day. We've been watching him all day, watching his lure inactive. Like, there's an active lure in the water, there's an inactive lure in the water. You can see it when you reel it. When you fish, you know what it looks like, man. He's fishing with the inactive lure and shit. We're just like, dude, and we're landing him, and he's not. And all of a sudden, this dude pulls out this fucking monster, and we're just like, oh my gosh. So guess what happens? David's like, oh, tides are turned now. I got the big one. And all the shit talking starts coming from him. And me and Paul are looking at each other like, what the fuck? So the end of the story is me being a jackass. And it's great, man. It's fucking great. Because, I land another, man. And now we're at 10 or some shit, man. We just got this stringer of just fucking, we're going to eat good, man. We're going to eat good, right? We've hiked down. We've fished all day. We don't go for a few hours, man. We don't go for a few hours. We go until we're like burnt, dead, tired, fucking you got to drag us out kind of. That's how we used to fish. And so fucking, I'm out there, I get my last fish, and I'm getting to the stringer, and I lose the fucking stringer. This is the Stanislaus River, man. This ain't a fucking creek. The shit's flowing. And if you lose it, it's you in the water after it with the amount of water flow we had at that year, or you just watch it go. And there ain't no way I'm jumping in a fucking wild-ass river like that. Not as high as it was anyway. And so I lost all the goddamn fish. And then, you know, so now I'm the jackass in the group, like going, God damn, man, you know. And, you know, we fished the next day. We caught more fish. We fished there all the time. We always caught fish when we went. But that boy had faith in that lure, man. He had faith all day. He was going to get something with it. And no amount of clowning was going to get him off of that setup. Me and Paul clowned him all day. You had to see it. Envision it, man. A massive swivel and a tiny ass fucking like super duper lure of all things. Again, look it up. Super duper. Me and him are fishing with Castmasters. We don't got swivels, man. This guy's fishing with the swivel so he can swap them off, and he gets his super duper. He swears that's the lure to use. And he's fishing all day. I use super dupers. I know how they work. You got to put the tiniest, you got to put a swivel in front of that shit so it spins. It doesn't tighten up your line. So you have to use a swivel with the super duper. But man, you got to put a tiny one on, man. And you know, at any rate, he caught it. I lost the fish. Sorry, guys. Sorry. And David stuck with his faith. He stuck with it. And he showed us. He showed us with that faith. He showed us it'll pay off in the end. You just got to believe it'll catch the biggest fish, and it will. Oh, Paul, I hope you hear this story, man. David, I hope you hear this story. Those fucking days were glorious, man. They were fucking fun-ass trips. You know, David, same trip, he bought an M80. Or an M100, I don't know, man. But not what you're thinking. Not like Ohio, go to the fucking fireworks and buy an M80. No, not like that, man. I'm talking one that had to be like touched to a fucking battery to explode. I never seen anything fucking like it. All I remember, man, is like David. Again, this guy, yeah, this is how crazy he is. Now, he won't come down a fucking cliff. He'll fish all day. He'll fish all fucking day with the setup that ain't supposed to catch fish. It just isn't, but it did. It did. It caught one. The biggest one, too. So he's got brag rights there. He's got brag rights. And he's out there fucking putting a rock in between the M100 and his head. Literally, man. I'm like 20 feet away going, oh my God, he's fucking doing it. He's fucking doing it. No fucking way. He's fucking doing it. And he put this rock and he's out there fucking getting the wires a certain way. And he's just like, next thing you know, it's just like, boom! And then the echo. I was like deaf and ringing for like a minute. That shit was the loudest shit I ever saw. And I'm looking at him and he's fine. I can't believe how close his head was to it. That's David. Scared to go down a thing, but not scared to put his head next to a goddamn explosive. Fucking David, man. David's the one that ain't our friend, man. David moved on. He moved on. You know, this guy, he's out in Arizona somewhere, Flagstaff, and you know, me and Paul keep in touch. David's kind of out of that little loop now. But man, that was a fucking epic story, man. That was some epic fun day. If you ever fish with two bros, and you and a bro are catching fish all goddamn day, and you're out there 6-7 hours fishing, and you get to talk shit and rag on somebody all goddamn day, and then in the end, that guy pulls out a bigger fish than you both, and you're just sitting there looking stupid, right? But But me and Paul knew, man, that's just some dumbass luck, man. That was just some dumbass luck. Because, I mean, I didn't even see a fish chase his shit. I mean, if I'm being honest. All right, love y'all. Have fun with this one.